Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for spending your time for attending to this event, especially for our Honorable Lecturer, Ma'am Aulia Hanifah Komar. Today, I would like to deliver a brief presentation about the effect of erasing the national examination in Indonesia because it's brought the effect, which is a positive effect and negative effect. However, before we start this presentation, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Yulizaki Ramadan from 4th semester. Okay, now let's move on into the introduction section. Okay, the first is, what is actually a national examination? The national examination is a system that created by a government to give a standardization to all schools in Indonesia. In addition, national examination also serve as a national benchmark for all students and schools, because when the government want to decide whether this school is deserve to get good accreditation, it's based on their performance in their school. The next is when actually this system start. The system officially started in 1950 by our government in Ministry of Education. And do you know, guys, this system has been running for 70 years. And the next is the purpose of this system. The purpose of the system is to give a standardization that's not, as I mentioned before in the previous. And the next is for measurement for student achievement, because when the national examination is still running, we must get a better score to graduate in school. If we don't get any good score, we will left behind in the school until you get the good score. And also, the system is as a requirement for you to get a scholarship, because when you get a better score, you have an opportunity to get a scholarship. And the last is official abolishment. The system has been abolished in 2021 during the COVID-19, because our government received so many criticism from our citizens, especially as from educators. And after that, our government changed the system to national assessment. Okay, let's move on into discuss about the effect. The first is a positive effect. As you can see in my slide, there are 3 points of positive effect in erasing national examination. The first is, why erasing national examination reduce the student stress and anxiety? Because when national examination is still running, we demand to have a good score in our test. That's make most of students feel so stressed, under the pressure, and cannot focus. Therefore, after the erasure of this system and replaced by a national assessment, which promote freedom and flexibility to students for improving their character development. The next is give a flexibility to teacher. Why after the arrangement of national examination, give a flexibility into the teacher? Because in the previous system, all teachers follow the same rule from a government. They cannot make any different methods. Therefore, after the change into the national assessment, nowadays teacher can use free method depends on the student needs, and they can use many different approaches to teaching in the class. It depends on the condition. The last positive effect is give fair system for all students. Why is give a fair system into all students is because the system sometimes give more advantage into the rich people or rich students in any school, not like a student from rural school that more disadvantaged for accesses the resource and struggle to find resource like a book. They cannot afford to pick a book, and for any student they can do a private teaching that make them even more advantageous. Okay, let's move on into the negative effect. As you can see in this slide, there are 4 negative effects that I know. The first is no more standard for comparison. Why there are no more standard for comparison is because nowadays our schools have a different approach, different system that not like the previous system that all schools have a same system that make government easy to evaluate. Because in evaluating a school today is so hard because every school has their own system. For example, like in this school, get a score A is easy, and in this other school, we get a B is already good. And also, it affect into the apply of scholarship. Because today every school has different system. That's make the administration of faculty is struggle to evaluate the student objectively because each school has different system. The next is reduce motivation for some students. Why is this system is reduce motivation for some students? Because most of the students use this system as their goals in the end of their school. As you can see in this era, our literacy is decreased gradually because there are no more goals to learn. Like, why I have to learn when I can pass the school without any effort? The next is increase teacher burden in work. Why increase the teacher burden in work is because nowadays teachers demand to create their own method, their own approach that make them even struggle. Not like the previous system that already provided by the government. Okay, the last is lost business opportunity for a teacher. I got this information from our honorable lecturer is Memphani, and Memphani said nowadays private teaching is hard to survive because there is no more demand, because students lost motivation to learn more about math, for example, English or other subject. Therefore, as we know today, it's hard to open a private private teaching, not like the previous system. Okay, next. Okay, the next is conclusion. Erasing the national examination brought both effect which is positive and negative effect. Therefore, government must give a fair teacher training and hybrid system for better quality and education. Because I believe every decision that made by government always have both effect. So how to handle it is by overcome the new problem. Because every decision has both positive effect and negative effect. It depends on how we manage the impact. Okay, the next I think is about the Q&A section. Anyone want to ask about something? Please raise your hand. Okay, if there is any question, I have some question for you guys. Next. Do you agree with removal of the national examination test? Who agree with this? Please raise your hand. Who disagree with this? Please stay your hand. Who agree? Please raise your hand. With this removal. The solution is giving the system with a fair and equal to all students and teachers. Like the national assessment should be more policed by our government. Not like just abandon the new system because it's not matched with our students. Okay. Okay, if because there are no any reaction, I think that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.